Stressful times are ahead. It's the holiday season, a lot of, Christmas shopping, maybe spending some time with some unruly extended family is in your future. So yeah, chances are you're going to be building up some stuff. And if you're a guy, normally you'll just work through that stuff. You'll just go pump some iron and let off some steam that way. But as most of your conventional medicine is centered around a female-centric worldview, and hell, that's not even just simply medicine in general. That's just kind of the entire way of the world. When it comes to dumping and venting and talking about your feelings, I mean, there are certain social practices that you need and need not employ. So that's what we're talking about here. The do's and don'ts of venting. Avoid chop-a-dump behavior is key. I don't know what that is. It sounds disgusting, but I'm sure it's totally fine. Venting tends to get a bad rap given it's associated with anger and negative energy. Well, I mean, if you got something to say, you might as well just say it before it gets to a point where you need to just, verbally vomit all over everything, but whatever. But mental health experts believe that it's also necessary as long as you do it right. Venting is what I call letting out the steam, because by definition, it's a physics term where you have pressure in the system, so you let it out. Wow, you're a psychiatrist. Judith Jones. Thanks, Doc. That's a very astute conclusion you're drawing. The problem with just venting alone is that, yeah, it feels good immediately, but it doesn't create solutions. Yeah, exactly. That's why most of the mental health and all of your dollar store and your corner stop therapy sessions never end up solving any problems. It just normally results in a very good transfer of wealth. Now you're just transferring, speaking of which, the stress onto another individual, I guess. Okay, that's why in her new book, High Functioning, she provides a simple cheat sheet, venting etiquette manual, if you will, that outlines the do's and don'ts of venting. So first things first, ask first. When do you vent? Yes, you want to ask for consent. That means no ambush ranting of your to your barista, dog walker, coworker, and make the mistake of asking, yes, how's it going? And then, you just have no personal control yourself. So it totally makes sense. Don't emotionally dump. Okay. Dr. Judith warns against what she calls chop-a-dump behavior, unloading your emotional baggage without checking if the other person can actually handle it. Yeah, exactly. Because, okay, cool. If somebody's asking, how you doing? Well, I was raped yesterday. That's going to be a very awkward conversation, even if it's with, a high priority confidant, or if it's just somebody, ringing you in at the CVS. It's a problem, and people are going to be empathetic to your situation. It's just, that's going to be a pretty heavy subject to broach. Don't burden your kids. Yeah, I mean, shout out to my parents for being exceptional, and this is another thing that never really came up, okay? There were certain issues growing up that I could kind of draw conclusions on, but it didn't end up getting burdened by that, that's for true. Anything that was going on, it was dealt with by the parents, so just another reason why I'm so happy for the way that I was brought up. But anyways, you want to be mindful of the power of hierarchy. So you don't want to necessarily vent to the people who are considered in a lower power dynamic than you. Well, yeah, kids, and they're just not going to be equipped with dealing with any of that stuff. Oh, great. Mom and dad are fighting. How am I going to properly assess that situation and be a good sounding board for that without having that negatively affect my own worldview? Now, that includes your children. Even if they say they want to help, your kids will listen to you, but they're going to be worried about you when you leave the room. Even if they say, I want to hear you, they may want to feel close to you, but what you're doing is creating stress for them because they worry about you. Well, yeah, exactly. Or your employees, the exact same thing. Oh yeah, our business is going to close. Yeah, but you should be fine though. I'm just stressed, not you. Don't worry about you. Okay. You don't necessarily want to traumatize your employees because they have to answer to you. They don't want to be fired by the boss. Yeah, exactly. This is also like really good insight into female hypergamy. Okay. Or just goes to show you that, even if you have something on your mind, don't make it seem like you're going to be somebody who's not going to be a good fit for a leadership position. And if you do, you better pick and choose. Okay. And that's why, okay, whenever you're having a problem, just sidebar here for a second. If you're a guy and you have a problem, sound it off to your boys, because if you got good friends, they're going to go ahead and give you good advice, and they're going to give you an opportunity to, just really get some shit off your chest, and they'll offer you solutions. Okay. As opposed to your girl who will be planning her escape, if you come forward and you're just really hesitant and non-committal about certain stresses in your life. They don't want to hear it. They'll say that they want to hear it, but women don't want the truth. They just want a comfortable lie. Back on point. Do check yourself before you wreck someone else. If you want to make sure that you're in a state where you're not just unloading and telling everyone your business, you want to consider whether or not in that moment you're regulated. Do try settling down first. Yeah, exactly. You could just also be, totally spurging out for no good reason. So yeah, take a breath. go for a walk, scream into a pillow, whatever helps. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been like exceptionally stressed out. Normally I can just look at it, roll my eyes, and go on with my life, especially on social media. Like there's some shit that really gets under my skin. Like there's some stupid takes that I see from just some high priority and high profile people where it's like, I could say something, or I could just close the app and go outside and touch grass. Like, you could just go ahead and do that. It really doesn't much matter. Or if something goes sideways on channels, it's like, whatever, man. Go outside, go for a walk, yeah. Try some grounding techniques, which is just simply go outside. In my book, before you choose 1 or 2 people that you can trust. So yes, complaining can be cathartic, and so can a good spa day. And then also, so can some good exercise to just burn off some steam. So yeah, you might rant, you might rave, but you could also keep it to yourself, a trusted confidant, and not just for the world to hear, because chances are your issues probably won't matter tomorrow. So yeah, by just taking a moment, you'll probably just figure things out on your own anyways. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.